Namaste. Greetings from Ayu-Chintana. Similar to how the sun's radiant beams transform a dark area into a brilliant one throughout the day, a skilled doctor quickly eradicates a patient's illness and brings back swasthya. Thus, with the proper help of a bhishak or pranabhisara vaidya, the person gets cured of the illness. Ayu-Chintana aims to find the narrative technique of systematic writing sequence of the science Āyurveda. To realize its specific nature, one must study and practice at the same time. Thus, we shall realize how practically the Tantra has been written. Here we introduce you to a new series to understand how to interpret a shloka from the original text. This will serve as a step-to-step guide for shloka presentation. This is Shloka Vyakhyana. Let's begin the first episode of this new series. How do you think modern day scientists fact-check the new research or clinical finding? Okay, let's analyze like this. In modern medicine, truth or fact is measured by strength and reproducibility of evidence, validated through statistical rigor, peer review, and consensus. In modern science and medicine, the means of measurement of truth or validity mainly revolves around the direct observation and the direct evidence. Evidence and data quality, reproducibility, statistical validation, levels of evidence, peer review and consensus, as I mentioned. In the same way, how do you think Ayurveda Ācāryas have taught us to fact check things or per se understand the intricacies of Samhita? They had developed methodologies or specialized tools to understand the things around them and put to best of their clinical abilities. The basis of this was a keen observation, a meticulous observation. You may try to see utilizing your own eyes or use a simple lens or even a microscope and further an electron microscope. But still, the core knowledge and its widest dimensions remain far-fetched. So very soon, Ācāryas understood that not everything that's visible is the end of the vast knowledge the universe holds. So, there is much beyond what is perceived through peripheral sense organs, and much of the knowledge is far from ferreting just through direct observation. Because direct observation has at least 8 limitations, which are referred to as pratyaksha badhakara bhavas. So, what more is needed? We need observation plus inference, keen analysis, multi-level questioning, and deep understanding of the grammatical aspects in a language and the science itself. Because these fundamentals aid us in our long journey to be able to pursue medical knowledge and the secrets of the human world. The basic 3 tools to pursue any form of knowledge are aptopadesha, pratyaksha, and anumana, and these are called pramanas. Anumana also includes yukti. Yukti is not just a pramana but also a tantra yukti wherein yojana is done. That is, logical sequencing of information intended to be pursued knowledge. Finally, by inspecting from different angles at different levels and taking into consideration the multifactorial relations, by many experts, a fact is established, and this is called siddhanta. Samhita is thus a collection of siddhantas, fact-checked principles. These principles, when put in the form of a shloka or a gadya, are set to certain grammatical patterns and are hence directed to be deciphered with a 3-fold methodology explained in Caraka Sutra 30th chapter. That is, vakyashaha, artha-vyākhyāna, vakyarthashaha in order. Tatra Ayurveda vidaha tantrasthana adhyaya prashnanam prithaktvena vakyasho, vakyarthasho, artha-vyākhyāna pravaktaro mantavyaha. If the Shastra has to be understood by all levels of intellectuals, Pancha Avayava Vakya, the part of Vada Marga, has also been incorporated. Let's see the fourth shloka here. Buddhya samyag anupravishyarthatvam vagbhir vyasa samasa pratigna hetu udaharana upanaya nigamana yuktabhihi trividha shishya buddhihi, that is 3 levels of intellectuals. Trividha shishya buddhi gamyabhiruchyamanam vakyarthasho bhavatyuktam. So, our basics for shloka presentation are these 3. What are those? Vakyashaha, artha-avayavashaha and vakyarthashaha. Let us learn what all constitutes shloka presentation. That is, Vakyashaha includes shloka, adhikarana, prakaraṇa. That is, Vakyashaha is direct as a sentence. How the shloka is given, that's how exactly it is deciphered. So, directly as a sentence. So, in the shloka, we take the shloka first, then comes the adhikarana. Adhikarana is not just one. It includes tantra adhikarana, sthana adhikarana and adhyaya adhikarana as well. Then comes the prakarana. So, these 3 constitutes Vakyashaha. Let's explore each of these in details in next episode of Shloka Vyakhyana. Second main point is artha-avayavashaha, that is, splitting each part of the shloka into individual components. First one among them is the pada-vibhaga, investigating each word and its root form. Artha-anvaya, deriving its word meaning. Then anvaya, putting it into a meaningful sentence in the Sanskrit language. It has 2 types of anvayas, khanda-anvaya and danda-anvaya. Let's explore each of these in details in next episode of Shloka Vyakhyana. The third important point is vakyarthashaha, higher analysis of shloka with regards to science specific, that is Āyurveda. This can be called logical reasoning or in other words syllogism. It includes 5 steps, that is pancha avayava vakya vivechana, pratigna, hetu, drishtanta, upanaya and nigamana. As like the above, let's explore each of these in our further episodes of Shloka Vyakhyana. For any scholar to find thorough answers to these, that is Vakyashaha, Artha-avayavashaha and Vakyarthashaha, one must know the art of questioning, that is Ashtaprashna. They are as follows. Atha Bishagadita eva Bishaja Prashtavyo Ashtavidham Bhavati. Tantram Tantrarthan, Sthanam Sthanarthan, Adhyayam Adhyayarthan, Prashnam Prashnarthamscha iti. Prishtena cha etad vaktavyam asheshena vakyasho vakyarthasho artha-vayavas-cheti. So that means to say these 8 prashnas are not limited to one part among the 3 that we have defined. It has to be incorporated in all the 3, that is Vakyashaha, Vakyarthashaha and Artha-avayavashaha. In all of these 3 headings and their subtypes, Ashtaprashna and its orientation have to be deliberately done. Vaktavyam iti vakshamanam tantradi swarupam. So, is this limited to one shloka or one adhyaya or one sthana? No, not absolutely. It should be followed throughout the tantra. Okay, so I repeat the Ashtaprashnas. Those are Tantram, Tantrarthan, Sthanam, Sthanarthan, Adhyayam, Adhyayarthan, Prashnam and Prashnarthan. Thus, I hope you understood the basic contents of a shloka presentation. So, what and all does it include? Let's repeat. Vakyashaha, Artha-avayavashaha and Vakyarthashaha. These are the 3 primary components. So, among them are the shloka, adhikarana, prakarana under Vakyashaha, padavibhaga, arthanvaya and anvaya under artha-avayavashaha, and vakyarthashaha will include the pancha avayava vakya vivechana, that is pratigna, hetu, drishtanta, upanaya and nigamana. Let me very briefly take you through an example. Okay, so whatever I have considered here as a shloka, that is from Caraka Sutra 21st chapter, 22nd shloka. And the shloka goes like this. So where does shloka come from? So shloka comes under the Vakyashaha aspect. So this shloka goes as Gurucha atarpanam cheshtam sthulanam karshanam prati krishanam brahmanartham cha laghu santarpanam cha yat. So this part is called as sampradhanam. Sampradhanam is however in what chandas or meter the shloka is set into, like that we read it first. So I'll read this shloka in the format of chandas. Guru chatarpanam cheshtam sthulanam karshanam prati krishanam brahmanartham cha laghu santarpanam cha yat. So this shloka is basically set in Anushtubh meter. So Anushtubh is where each pada of a shloka contains 8 letters. So any given shloka will have 4 padas, that is 4 parts to it. So each part will have 8 letters in it. So in total, Anushtubh chandas will make 32 letters. Then adhikarana. So as I told you before, adhikarana has few parts, right? So adhikarana has tantra adhikarana, sthana adhikarana, and also adhyaya adhikarana. So what do you say now? Tantra adhikarana of the shloka that I have considered, as I told you, it is from Caraka Samhita. Caraka Samhita is the tantra here. Then sthana adhikarana. As you know, Caraka Samhita has 8 sthanas. So I said Caraka Sutra 21/22. So what does this imply? It implies that sthana adhikarana is sutra sthana. Then comes adhyaya adhikarana. It is the 21st chapter of the sutra sthana. That means to say, this shloka is taken from Ashtau Ninditiya Adhyaya. Then the third part is prakaraṇa. So this shloka is basically, the prakaraṇa is of Chikitsa Siddhanta of this Thaulya. Okay. Then the second main heading is artha-vyākhyāna. So under this there are 3 parts. The first part is pada vibhaga. This shloka in particular totally has 15 shabdas. Details of which let's see in the forthcoming episodes. So which are the padas which are the shabdas in this shloka? It is Guru, Cha, Atarpanam, Cha, Ishtam, Sthulanam, Karshanam, Prati, Krishanam, Brahmanartham, Cha, Laghu, Santarpanam, Cha, Yat. So these are the pada vibhaga that has to be made for this shloka. So let's see what is the artha-anvaya. See, there are 2 aspects in Samskrita grammar. One is the artha-anvaya, one more is anvaya-artha. That means to say, artha-anvaya is however the shloka has the shabdas, likewise only you start giving meaning to it. That means Guru word means heavy. Cha will have the meaning of and or. Atarpanam is non-nourishing. Again, Ishtam is desired or choice. Sthulanam is for sthula. Karshanam, in order to cause karshana. Krishanam, for krisha. Brahmanartham, to impart brahmana. Cha, again, is and or. Laghu is light. Santarpanam, which is nourishing. Cha, and or. Yat, word means that is the meaning. Okay, so this basically is artha and anvaya. That is, for that particular word, however it is arranged in the shloka, that in the very same order you are giving the meaning to it. But then comes anvayartha. Only once we start thinking of the anvaya further, anvaya is rearranging these shabdas into a meaningful sentence. So in order to do a meaningful sentence, we need to rearrange the shloka. When we give the meaning in that way, that we will call it as anvayartha. So now let's see what could be the most possible anvaya. Okay, so anvaya is a very crucial step, and it should not be neglected at any point, right? So anvaya could be of many ways. According to the context, according to the sthana, and according to the prakarana in which the shloka has come, you need to make the anvaya. We will discuss all of the details of anvaya in our further episodes. I'll be taking each of the episodes further to detail about, okay, what is a shloka, what is an adhikarana, what is anvaya. So in this episode, I'm just giving you a brief. Okay. So what is the anvaya? Most possible anvaya, correct anvaya of the shloka. Sthulanam yat gurucha atarpanam cha tat karshanam prati ishtam syat. Second line would be krishanam yat laghu santarpanam cha tat brahmanartham cha ishtam syat. So you may be wondering, why did I add syat word in the anvaya, which is not at all given in the shloka, correct? So in order to understand this, you need to see the further episodes that I give out on YouTube, so that you can understand how an anvaya could be done. So basically this is adding a kriya pada into a sentence such that it will not alter the meaning of the shloka, but it will just add upon to the meaning of the shloka. So here one has to explain the basic meaning of the shloka as well. See, anvaya has different processes to it, like it has 2 or 3 steps in it. So first thing in the anvaya is to rearrange the shloka into a meaningful sentence and give its meaning. Then further is, you have to also give the meaning to the commentary of the shloka. Okay, so as far as the Charaka Samhita is concerned, majorly sought commentaries are the Ayurveda Deepika commentary by Chakrapani Datta and Gangadhara Roy Tika as well. So make sure you refer to these while deciphering the shloka. So also use Tantra Yuktis if at all necessary, and wherever necessary you must use the Tantra Yuktis. So let's recap. So anvaya is not just one step, basically it has 3 steps to it. First step is to rearrange the shabdas in the shloka and put it into a meaningful sentence in Sanskrita language itself. Then you have to give the meaning of the shloka, basic meaning of the shloka. Then you have to explain the Sanskrit tika, which is given for Charaka Samhita. That is either Chakrapani tika or Gangadhara tika, or even the Yogendranath Sen tika, Shivadas Sena tika, like this. And then you have to give the meaning of that Sanskrit tika as well. So this completes the anvaya part. Then last part of the shloka presentation would be the Vakyartha-shaha. This includes 5 components. That is pratigna, hetu, drishtanta, upanaya and nigamana. Pratigna is the problem statement, that is shloka or phrase under investigation. There is one or multiple shlokas that are given. Then hetu is the logical reasoning or could be proofs that we come up with in order to prove the exact shloka that this is this. So it's basically formulating those logical reasonings. So for this particular shloka, that is Gurucha atarpanam cheshtam sthulanam karshanam prati krishanam brahmanartham cha lagu santarpanam cha yat. So what could be the possible hetus? How and why the combination of Guru and atarpana causes karshana effect on the body? Or it could be like, why atarpana is desirable in rugna suffering from sthaulya and not apatarpana? And how and why the combination of laghu and santarpana causes brahmana effect on the body? Why santarpana is desirable in rugna suffering from karshya and not atitarpana? So don't get into the part like thinking that why only these hetus were considered. That's next episodes, right? Like let's learn methodically, a step-to-step guide for understanding the shloka presentation. So let's not rush in a moment. So let's sit back and analyze in the further episodes why this particular hetu to be considered, or how to even consider the hetu, how to formulate the hetus. Okay, so I hope you understood how hetus are designed. Then comes the drishtanta, which is illustrations, and this could be multiple. It need not be one drishtanta. So it could be based on the shloka or the chikitsa siddhanta or the particular topic which is explained in the shloka, like this. Then upanaya. Upanaya is basically how you put into a nice frame the whole discussion from hetu and drishtanta put together. This is the discussion section, what you have understood from the shloka. Generally, it is told that upanaya should be more than the hetu and drishtanta, the first rule, and that is what you understood from the shloka. Second part is, you should not include anything extra that you have not told priorly in hetu and drishtanta in the upanaya part. Okay. Then comes the nigamana. Nigamana is the conclusion part. So whatever proofs or whatever logical reasoning that we were trying to collect, all these times. So we are putting it into a nice conclusion. Yes, the pratigna, the problem statement which you had given, is right or wrong, and that we prove at the last. That is nigamana. So how should one gain the shloka knowledge? Individual as well as whole, the placement of shabda or shabdas in a shloka. Then from the placement of a shloka in a certain prakarana, the placement of shloka in the adhyayam, then the placement of shloka and its relevance to the sthana, placement of shloka and its relevance to the tantra, then theoretical and practical binding to the fundamentals of Sanskrita Vyakarana and Shastra, and its acceptance or divergence with respect to other Shastras within the domain of the particular Vijnana. And finally, never leave this, the clinical utility of any shloka that you are trying to decipher. So, asat paksha kshanitvarti dambha parushya sadhanaha bhavantyanaaptaha svetantre prayah paravikkathakaha. So, those who are inefficient and lack proper knowledge of Ayurveda take refuge in fraudulent schools of thought and make many excuses for lack of time or sudden illness, or pretentious, use rude language and speak ill of others during debates. So they are like the news of Kala. So they slander the scriptures and bring the science to disrepute. So they should therefore be shunned. On the other hand, one should avail good physicians who are always calm and composed and fully knowledgeable in Ayurveda. So this is a shloka excerpt from Caraka Sutra 30th chapter, 82nd and 83rd shloka. So now you think of, would you want to become a pranabhisara vaidya or rogabhisara vaidya? Would you want to become dakshas tirthartha shastrartha, or you want to become a chadmachara vaidya? So this all depends on how you want to invest your time and your disciplines with the proper effort into understanding the tantra properly in the way that it is described, or the shastra needs certain way of methodology for you to understand and follow. All sciences in the world cannot have same methodology to be understood. So understand the Ayurveda Tantra in such a way that Ayurveda has told you to follow. Dhanyavadaha. Let's meet in our next episodes. Learn, practice, live Ayurveda.